Hey you guys, art log number 16. So with this video I'm gonna have a kind of different format. Still no script this time, but I just kind of wanted to change things up a bit as far as how I go about doing the whole voiceover thing as I show my art that I've done since my last art log. I tried recording this about like 4 or 5 times and like I wasn't really happy with either of them. There was even one case where I did like a 30-minute voiceover and like I just felt like I was kind of ranting and it wasn't really focused on a specific thing. So yeah, since my last art log, some of you guys know I've been setting the goal of studying every day for about 2 hours, and that has been probably one of the hardest things to do just because eventually it went from like wanting to study and like being excited to study the next day to me like procrastinating. Not so much procrastinating, but like I didn't necessarily want to go and study the same thing. You know, every day I was doing mostly anatomy studies and stuff like that, which as you guys know is not the most exciting of things, but it is very satisfying when you come out to a nice sketch and you draw a leg the right way or an arm or a hand the right way for the first time. That hasn't happened for me yet, obviously, but we're getting there, you know, and I'm starting to see that progress, so I'm really happy with that. And another thing is that like I found out that like it's always gonna be easier to reach a goal if you give yourself some variety. You know, the fact that I was only giving myself anatomy, because the whole thing that happened was like whenever I would be studying like concept design, I guess you could call it, right? Well, which is basically in my case just drawing like and designing different kinds of helmets and shoulder pads and stuff like that for things that you would see in armor what are the sets, you know what I mean? Like think World of Warcraft or something like that, or Destiny, where you have these interchangeable helmets and interchangeable arm plates and stuff like that. I love doing stuff like that. But the problem was whenever I would go for that, I would kind of get bored of drawing a pose in this like, or the head in a certain way like all the time, or like only being comfortable with drawing the shoulders up. Like I could do shoulder drawings up like indefinitely almost, you know. Bust drawings aren't really a hard thing to do. It's just when it gets to the anything below the shoulders, that's where I start taking, you know, a couple hours on each limb sometimes. Like it gets crazy. And people don't realize like it's really like I think studying anatomy is really underrated. It's definitely something that you just can't ignore, and unless you go for a super cartoon like a super cartoony like stylized art style, you know. And even dude, I've looked at some of the like because every now and then I'll go through and look at sketchbook tours, and I'll notice that like dude, even though these guys are drawing like cartoony, they know their anatomy. I don't know how they get the time for that, but like they do it somehow. I mean, I guess it's through sketchbooks, you know. You just don't show your studies. But yeah, anyways, I noticed, you know, halfway through this month, I think I got about, so I started on the 1st of August with the whole 2 hours a day thing. I got 9 days in, and then on the 10th, I did 1 hour, or a little bit over an hour, right? So I didn't count that day, but I marked it down for 1 hour that day. And then I went another 12 days, 16 days, and then I took a break yesterday. I think I drew for about an hour and a half yesterday, or maybe 2 hours if you count like reading blogs and stuff like that on concept design and stuff. So I guess you could say I met the mark for that day, but it started getting really technical, you know. I started like questioning myself, like did I really study? Like how much of that 2 hours was I looking at videos, and you know what I mean? And when it comes to that, I don't know exactly how to approach it. I mean, if you're dedicating that time towards your art and you're kind of thinking about it actively, and you're actively looking at and taking in new ways of drawing and art styles and studying other people's art, and you know the people that you look up to, reading blogs from those people and watching videos and listening to videos from other artists that give advice and stuff like that, I would pretty much count that as studying, honestly. It just all comes down to how well you can retain that information, if I'm using the right word. But yeah, I just noticed that like every day it was just getting harder and harder and harder to push through, and I'm still not even done with this month. And then like sometimes I would want to edit a video or like record a video, and that would take like an hour or two of my time. So like, does that count as studying? Like, I'm getting better with Adobe Premiere, like what counts as studying? So I would definitely recommend you guys, like, if you want to do something like that and challenge yourself to be consistent with something, set some ground rules, because you're gonna get like, when it gets to the point where you're questioning yourself and you don't want to break your streak that you have going, it starts to really weigh on your shoulders. Like it's like a little cloud of art self-doubt that just like rains these tears of depression like all over you. You know, it's really easy to get caught up in that. But I've, you know, and I might not have as much to show this month because I have been spending a lot of time on my sketchbooks. I find it way easier to study anatomy when it comes to the sketchbooks, because what'll happen is, like, when I'm drawing in Photoshop, right, just the ability to erase things and not have to worry about like smears or like pages getting wasted and stuff like that. It's just tempting to always spend as much time as you can to get one drawing perfect, rather than like drawing with ink in a sketchbook. And like, if you get it wrong one time, you have that permanently, like you have that to look at for the rest of your the rest of that page, you know, so you can kind of constantly look and reference that. And I know like there's the possibility of like you could easily like just not erase, but if you guys have ever tried that, just drawing without erasing, it takes a lot of just straight discipline. Like, it's just so easy to press E and just erase that stroke that's giving you a headache, you know, like it. But with sketchbooks, it's been teaching me to be kind of accepting of my mistakes. And not only that, but like a sketchbook kind of lays it out all for you. So like, when you look at a sketchbook and you can see the pages that you filled that day, what I like to do personally, like, I'll put the date and the time that I started a page and the time that I ended on a page. So it kind of encourages me to stay focused so that I have accurate times that it takes me to like fill each page. And it lets me know like what time of the day it was, how different was the time that I started drawing every day. And like, it helps you to kind of notice patterns with yourself and how you approach studying. So if you guys actually like have sketchbooks of your own, which 90% of you guys probably do, 90% of the three, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, 90% of you guys probably have sketchbooks, and if you don't, I highly recommend getting one. Even though it's gonna be a pain, trust me, like years later, you'll want to look back on it someday. And whenever you get good enough with your art that you feel comfortable to share it, who knows, like maybe you want to make one of those videos where you look over your old art. Even if it makes you cringe, a lot of people find it really encouraging, because a lot of people don't understand that these really good artists, they start at the same point that you feel like you're at, you know, which is having a lot to learn. I don't know why that I hesitated with that. I don't know. But just having a lot to learn and just not knowing what you don't know and all that stuff is just, I'd say the beginning of art, when you first get into art, is probably one of the hardest parts. Because, so I went on another talking spree here, but what I meant to say here is that when you first start off as an artist, it's really hard, because it's probably one of the hardest parts, because what happens is like you're at the beginning of a long, never-ending cycle of just self-doubt, you know. And as a beginner, you have literally zero, I mean, everyone starts at a different point, but as a beginner, like a beginner, you have zero like habits for art. You have almost no discipline for it. You almost have, maybe you've watched like different amounts of videos than the next guy, but you have no real discipline in it. And depending on what age you are, I mean, like if you're still living with your parents and you decide to pursue art as a like full career too, like, dude, that is like a no-no nowadays. Even though like the times are different, and it's definitely possible to make a living out of the art, out of being an artist. The old generation doesn't exactly understand that, especially if you come from a family that's based on like, you know, get a government job, you know, be a doctor, be a nurse, you know. You're taking a giant leap of faith, you know, and on top of that, you're stressed about your own progression as an artist. You're stressed about like if you're doing the right things. Probably you don't know what kind of art style you want. And I'm sorry if you're hearing the shake in my voice. This fly keeps flying into my face. I don't know why. But there's just so much going on, and it's like you can really get caught up, especially if like you're comparing yourself to, like, you don't know what not to do yet. Chances are, it's just like that is probably one of the hardest parts that you ever go through as being an artist. That's like the initial, and then not only that, but you have to build up that discipline and all that stuff to study every day, and to know what to study and how long to study it before you get burnt out, and like how to avoid burnout. You have to know what videos to look up so you know what you don't know and what you do know, and how to manage what you do and don't know. It's just so much. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and let the video go back into, because this video is getting long as hell. Before you're an artist, right? Or what I mean by artist, right, is someone that consistently does drawing every day or art related things every day. That's what an artist is. And it's really hard for us to consider ourselves artists when we're not professional, or like, you know, we got a certain amount of viewers on YouTube, or like followers on Instagram, or likes on Twitter. You know what I mean? It's, if you draw every day, you're an artist, okay? And yes, sure, there's different skill levels to artists, or not even skill levels. I would say thresholds, right? And what I mean by thresholds is kind of like an understanding of what you do and how you want to do it. You know, it just, the more knowledge that you have on where you want to go with your art, I feel like that more determines how, quote, good of an artist you are. It's just kind of understanding where you want to go, where you are, and how you're going to get there, and how you approach it, I guess. Or maybe I could be completely wrong. I mean, it doesn't really, I can't change it now. I'm not going to edit the video, so. But yeah, I just finished, I had 2 sketchbooks also that I've started in 2018. And I finished both of them 2 years later. So this quarantine, like I said, almost everyone's been indoors. So like, I've been taking sketchbooks so serious. I mean, like, and it's really fun too, to fill the pages and kind of see where you were when you began the sketchbook, to like compared to where you ended it. I find that one of the most interesting parts of it all. But like, yeah, like I was saying, I'm so sorry I got off track, but like I went on to like 4 minutes of just talking. But back to what I was saying about me designing helmets and shoulder pads versus studying anatomy. You know, it's like whenever I'm designing those things, I get tired of using the same pose over and over. And whenever I try to go outside of that, everything just looks wonky. Everything falls apart. And I really like, before like, whenever I was only drawing in my comfort zone, I didn't see a reason to stepping out of it. You know, I didn't have any interest really in drawing any crazy poses or anything. But as I started making better and better designs and kind of studying other people's designs more, I just realized how much like more I wish I could be doing. And that's when I started like trying to get out of my comfort zone. And then I was like, holy crap, like I can't draw a arm bent, like I can't draw hands, you know, and I still don't really know how to draw hands yet. And whenever you're talking about art, just a side note, whenever you're talking about what you can and can't do with art, try not to use can't. You know, can't is a very, very self-limiting word. Like whenever, and I don't remember who taught me this, but God, it changed my entire like outlook, like the way I looked at things as far as my ability to do something, you know. Whenever people would ask me like, do you know how to do this? I'm like, I don't know how, but I can learn. You know, always approach it from that way. Like if someone asks, like in a job interview especially, you know, like, do you know how to do this? Not at the moment, but I can learn. You know, it's just way better. And like, doesn't that, and that makes you feel better, because it's like, yes, you can learn. You can learn anything if you just dedicate time. Literally, like if life was a game, like time would be your XP points, your level points, you know, and like you get attribution points, dude. You get a certain amount of time every day, and it's up to you where you decide to allocate those points. And over the course of your life, if you're allocating all your freaking points into like, I don't know, like Fortnite, and like it's like Fallout, right? Like if you every time you level up, you put perks into like agility, but like no. Okay, that's a bad example. Like say for example, you take all your points and you allocate them into Fortnite, and then like you'll put 1 point into art every day, you know. So like one point, I don't know how much time that would be, right? But just bear with me. Like, you're putting 9 times more time into Fortnite than you are into art. And then at that point, you're getting better. And it's not even guaranteed that you're getting better at Fortnite that much, you know, 9 times more than art. But you get what I'm saying. Like, it's like time is your allocation points or your skill points, you know, and you got to allocate those things the best way you can. And the only thing stopping you from being able to learn how to do something is those points. And you get, and every day you get more of them. They don't stack though. That's the thing. That's the only downside. You know, we don't get that. Some people waste points. They don't put points into anything. Every day they just, you know, people just sit and entertain themselves, which is cool. I mean, we all do it at some point. But those points aren't stacking the next day. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have those points that day and that day only. Unless you invest in the lucid dreaming perk, then you get XP points when you sleep too. So that's like a little bonus there. And if you aren't pinning your points in anything, that's 10 times worse than not pinning them in, you know, something. Like, who knows what it could be, but like, I always like pitting things in game terms. It's always way more fun. But back again, what I was saying, like, just always tell yourself that you can learn. Don't ever say you can't do something. And that'll definitely like help you out with self-confidence and just knowing, if you keep telling yourself, you know, you are what you keep telling yourself. You know what I mean? And like, if you keep telling yourself that you can learn and you're able to learn and you're willing to learn, you'll learn. Like unless you're super one of those super, like, 1 out of 1,000 super delusional people that can just tell themselves anything and not get anywhere, like, yeah, you know, just keep it in mind, you know. And but basically, back to what I was saying, I'm so sorry, you know, I'm all over the place. But yeah, when it came to me designing, you know, I would always get caught up on not being able to make these poses, right? So I'm like, okay, I should be studying anatomy instead of design right now. At least mostly. And I'd go to study anatomy, and then I'm like, man, I wish I could be, like, I want to study design so bad. So I go back to design, and then I'm like, but god damn it, like, I should be doing anatomy. And then, you know, it's just back and forth, you know. And like, it's super easy to get caught up in that trap. And that's basically what kind of happened with me and this month. So yeah, I'm working on it. Like, hopefully I can have everything on top. Like, I can be on top of everything next month. Just do better every other day. I mean, every other day. Hey, I didn't say that, but every day, you know, just try to do a little bit better. And that's just my goal. You know, I always want to have a goal every month. You know, and it's just be it filling my sketchbook pages. You know. And another small thing, you know, having a calendar on your wall where you can have, like, you can see every day that you've, like, every X that you've marked out, that is amazing. It's like, you can see, like, it makes you not want to skip a day that much more. You'll put a little bit more effort into not skipping a day. But yeah, so I finished 2 sketchbooks. I might not show them anytime soon because I don't have, like, the proper camera. Like, my camera on my phone always goes off after like 2 minutes, or, like, you know what I mean? So sometimes it'll cut out and I won't realize it, so I'm talking this whole time and I'll end up talking for like 10 or 20 minutes, you know, and like I find out that I wasn't even recording the whole time, so I have to go back all the way, and then, like, you guys can tell, like, I ramble a lot, and sometimes when I ramble I say a lot of good things, you know, and like, it's hard to, like, go back and remember what I said, and then it feels scripted, and then I stutter, and then it's just like, bro, like, why are you even recording today? Just wait for the time, like, that you feel like you have something to give, you know. I never feel like making videos unless I have information to share, even if I'm not, like, the best artist, you know, skill wise or whatever. I have some knowledge that I can share to somebody. Everyone, you can learn something from anybody, and that's just the beauty of YouTube. But, like, you gotta be careful, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to get the wrong information out here. But man, I have spoken a lot this video. What was I about to say? So yeah, I'm getting ready to start this new sketchbook. It's got 100 pages. I like to do all the pages on the right side first, and then I'll go back and then do the left side pages, just so I can see and compare each day, like each page to what I was doing, you know, at that time. So I'm hoping to finish this one. I don't want to give myself a specific date, because then I feel like I'm pressured to do something every day, which makes it kind of less enjoyable. But and then another thing, I found my old USBs for some of the work that I did in community college. So you guys will someday be able to see that stuff whenever I get a better camera. There's two main things that I do want to get very soon that have to do with my YouTube videos. So I want to get like a webcam or something, and I'd like to get a webcam, maybe like a better phone, maybe, because maybe I could record longer or something like that. I don't think it's a better phone. I think I just need more memory, honestly. But yeah, more memory, a webcam, and maybe like a phone stand or something like that. I saw Asmongold, he makes videos. You guys probably know he is. He has this like phone stand. I'm probably gonna try to find out what that thing is, so I can get that for my videos sometime. But yeah, that's basically it for this art log. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little commentary, and know what I'm saying, I hope you guys keep your chins up. No, I want you guys to keep your chins up. All right, we gotta all do that shit. Dang it, I almost got through the whole video without cursing, man. But we all got to keep our chins up. You know, these are hard and tough times, and you're all you got sometimes. And being able to keep that chin up, you know, look at depression and all that stuff in the eyes. You know, I don't want to start sounding like a motivational video, so I'll just stop there. But you get what I'm saying. I don't want to go into the cringe territory either. So yeah, I'll catch you guys later. I hope you guys are having a good day. Keep your head up and try to do better than you did yesterday. That's all I can really say. Yeah, alright, yeah, I am very happy with myself with this commentary. I'll catch you guys later. Tyro's out. Peace!